One of the important things about prayer that we are learning is that prayer is a legal activity. Prayer is not a religious activity. Write the word prayer down again, just so we can get this clear in our minds. The word prayer in the Bible, in the Hebrew original word, is the word that we translate as petition. Petition. Write it down. A petition is not a religious activity. Petitioning is a legal activity. Petition means to make a demand on an authority based on legal rights. Petitioning. Petitioning is only possible where there is a governing authority, where there is a constitutional document that gives you rights, and where there is a use this term, right relationship with that authority. Petition requires all of them. So the petition, there's automatically a reference to an authority somewhere. There also means there must be some document, some covenant, some contract. In our environment, we'd use the term constitution. They're all the same. A constitution is a contract. It's a contract between the people and their government. That's the legal part of prayer. But then the person who's making the petition has to have a relationship with that authority. And it must be, I got to find this word I'm looking for. It must be, oh, here it is, a relationship in good standing. In other words, you cannot make a demand if you don't have a relationship, or if your relationship is strained. So this is why, a lot of people don't get their prayers answered. So you can literally shut down your own prayer life by your relationship being strained between you and that authority. Please don't think that prayer is a mystery. It's very simple. It's pleading a case. Now, let me get into the framework for this. Write this down. The authority of prayer. Let's talk about the big picture first. God has a plan, and his redemptive plan is consistent with his character and purpose. In other words, God is holy. We are the ones who destroyed the relationship. He proactively reached out to us with his redemptive plan to restore us. The whole issue of Jesus Christ coming to earth and dying on the cross is really not about you going to heaven. It's about repairing a relationship. That's why it's called redeeming. You are salvaging a relationship that was broken. So God's big picture is to restore the relationship. So when Jesus came, he came to restore our rights to dominion and prayer. He is restoring our relationship so we could go back to the government of heaven and make demands. That's what Jesus did. In Ephesians chapter 1, verse 9, you can read that in your spare time tonight when you go home, and also Ephesians 3, verse 10. These verses refer to the fact that his redemptive work was really focused on getting you to be able to do good works that were always prepared for you before the world began. He is putting you back in position on earth to continue your work of representing his country, his government here. That's what Jesus did. Third point here is important. Jesus was qualified to pray on earth because he was a man. I want you to read the chapter of John, chapter 5 tonight. Read the whole chapter. You have to understand this statement. In order for you to pray effectively on earth, you must have a human body. Because the authority and the legal right to do business on earth was given to humans. A human is a spirit, a dirt body.
And there are some of you here today, your situation is ruling your life and the devil is no longer sending demons because you are destroying yourself. And my desire is to inject you with faith today, to inject you not with hype but with hope from God. That our God is not done with you. You are not breathing air on this earth an accident. If you're going through hell, to keep on going, because there is a breakthrough on the other side of your breaking. Can somebody say amen? If you're taking notes, I want you to write down number 1. Failure is not final, it is the fertilizer. Genesis 50:20, it says the following: but as for you, you meant evil for me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring about, as in this day, to save many people alive. The devil will always say failure is final. God will say it's a fertilizer. Now, for those of you who know what fertilizer is, it's not something you put in your salad. It stinks. It's terrible. You gotta wash your hands after you use it. But your lawn needs it. Your fields require it. What if I were to tell you that in this broken world marred by sin and evil, God doesn't send failure, but since it's already there, God takes advantage of it. Abraham prayed for the barren women when his wife was barren. Job prayed for his friends when he was broke. Slave girl evangelized to Naaman while she was in slavery. Jesus healed while being arrested. Jesus evangelized to the criminal while hanging on the cross. Paul built fire after shipwreck and a storm. Paul and Silas were singing hymns to God while they were in prison. What that means is that when you are in your difficult time, don't compromise. But second thing, when you are in your difficult time, don't use it as an excuse to not serve. Your pain is not an excuse to not serve God. Your pain is not an excuse to live in self-pity. Poor little me, everybody pay attention to me. You have to get out of yourself and understand the Son of God did not come, the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and give His life for ransom. To be like children of God, we are supposed to take our eyes off of our pain. We're not ignoring our pain. We're not belittling our pain. We're not minimizing what we're going through. We're just not giving it power to trap us in our past. We're not giving it power to trap us in our present. We are saying we will not be ruled by our trauma. We will not be ruled by our pain. We will not be ruled by what the haters said. We will not be ruled how our life is unfair. We will serve in spite of that. Why? Because life is like tennis. Those who serve well seldom lose.